Welcome to everybody, to people here in presence and also to the attendants online. My name is Cecilia Maini. I work in ART-ER, that is a consortium among the university and the regional government in Emilia-Romagna. Our mission is to promote and support innovation and the economics development of our region through the innovation. And we work on the main sectors of priority of our region and on life sciences, biotech, biomedicals, and also healthcare innovation. So since April 2022, we are member of the IT Health, that is a European network for innovation and specific in the field of health. And we take the chance to organize this specific workshop on how to engage the hospitals in innovation process. So we decided we are, as ART, coordinator of the regional innovation ecosystem. So we think that we really have to improve the involvement of our hospitals and healthcare facilities in the innovation process. So we are part of a network, of an Italian network that Chiara Maiorino is going to present after my introduction. And just to say that this is the first of 3 workshops, a cycle of workshop on the topics of the involvement of hospitals in innovation process. After this, next week, there will be other 2 events. Main focus on specific themes of data and digital transformation of the healthcare systems. At the end of this workshop, we will send you all the slides of this presentation of this morning, and also the links and the information about the next 2 workshops. So let me introduce Chiara Maiorino, that she is the ecosystem lead for Italy in InnoStars of ART Health. Chiara, welcome, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, Cecilia. I can hear you and I can also see you.
Okay, we can hear and see you too. So I let you the floor and the screen for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecilia. So good morning, everyone. In the meantime, I'm sharing my presentation. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. I'm Chiara Maiorino, as Cecilia Maini just said. I'm the ecosystem lead for Italy within the ART InnoStars cluster. And for me, it's a pleasure to be here. So thank you for the invitation, not only to represent ART Health, but also because this series of morning talks has been welcomed by our partners, 3 partners actually, and they organized it in a very successful way in a very short time. So already congratulations to make it happen. It was not easy at this time of the year. I will go with you through ART Health, trying to let you understand who we are and actually how we work, which are the opportunities in our network. I hope I'm using English is fine. I understood that we are in English now and then you switch in Italian, right, Cecilia? English is fine.
English is fine.
Okay, great. So ART.
Okay, we announced that the working language was English, so it's okay.
Okay, great. So EIT Health is one of the 9 knowledge innovation community of the European Institute of Technology Innovation. And this institute is a co-founded body by European Union, part of Horizon Europe track. So we work together with the European ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, and European Innovation Council to promote and support innovation in the European market and for European society. Of course, being the knowledge innovation community dedicated to the health sector and the healthcare sector, we work for strengthening the healthcare system in Europe, for promoting better health of citizens and not only, also well-being. We would like also to work in the prevention phase, not only in the diagnostic or therapy one. And we do this for contributed finally to a sustainable health economy in Europe. And actually, our approach is very similar to the approach that is used in the tech transfer area from businesses, research center, and education bodies. Indeed, in the knowledge triangle of integration that might remind you the triple helix concept, we work to identify unmet clinical and economic needs, and together with our partners, again, our businesses, research center, and education working in the healthcare sector, we support the innovation. So we scout for new innovative ideas, projects, products, and services. And we initiate this innovation by sharing the knowledge and the technology, and by supporting those entities to talk with payers, providers, citizens, and patients. Of course, addressing the needs that at the top of this chain we have identified with our partners again. We are spread all around Europe, as you can see in this map. And so we have 8 regions organized in regional innovation hubs, including InnoStars region. InnoStars region is a broader cluster which includes not only Italy, but also Portugal, Poland, and Hungary. InnoStars has an headquarters in Budapest, but we have offices in all these 4 countries. And it's very important because not only we work with our partners, but also as a bridge between the Central European region and so-called regional innovation scheme region that are surrounding the southern part and then the eastern part of Europe. Beyond Europe, we are also in the United States and in Israel. And as InnoStars, we have the role also to manage the EIT hub in Israel. Our presence in Italy started already in 2016, actually with leading activity of University of Napoli Federico II, that together with the Italian Institute of Technology, with Synlab SDN and Synlab Italia, kicked off the network in our country. Since 2016, this network has been growing, and I'm proud to say that it was thanks to our partners and also to the work I've done together with the team of InnoStars. And now we include 8 partners. This year, indeed, after the entry of Check Up S.r.l. in Napoli in 2021, we have the entry of ART-ER, and today I'm very happy that they are kicking off this morning our talk series. Fondazione Bruno Kessler and Università degli Studi di Torino. Over than this, we have also 3 network partners whose responsibilities and thus commitment are slightly less, and are the Value Services S.r.l, the Life Science District, and the Bioindustry Park Fumero. You have to take into account that our partnership does include core and associate partner, the 8 partners that I mentioned, and these 3 network partners that are like piece of this chain to cooperate with us in specific activity like support, startup, and SMEs. We work also very close with one of our regional innovation scheme hub, Consorzio ARCA, the academic incubator of University of Napoli. And we are very proud to say that a year ago, it was the 5th of November 2021, we opened an office in Napoli at the university at the Center for Technology and Life Science Sciences, and this is the Italian ART Health offices. Italian partner, I will go very quickly on this slide because it contains a lot of information. Italian partners have been active in the main 3 pillars that ART Health so far has been promoted. So the education pillar, the business creation one, and the innovation. The main engagement or partner was to support or to lead specific education program meant to be entrepreneurship lab or innovation lab to make actually a researcher and professional better understand the innovation processes and ecosystem. We cooperate also on the business creation side to support startup and SMEs, and finally within the innovation track to promote technology transfer of those disruptive technologies to accompany them to the market, and so to the adoption of this for the sake of the citizen and patients' well-being and health. Italy is also recognized in ART Health as a successful startup nation. We are very proud actually about the recent achievement of a spin-off of University of Torino, NIB Biotech, that has been awarded together with only another one, BioScreen from Germany, for the Wildcard program, the flagship open innovation program of ART Health, receiving up to 1.5 million in 2 years to develop a diagnostic tool for prostate cancer. And this is the recent actually success, but I can stay here longer than an hour to accompany you to the partner journey, the startup journey of PHI, Takis Biotech, TeaCare, More Recognition, and so on and so forth. As I said, in ART Health, we focus on innovation project with the main aim to improve patients and systems outcomes. And we have 3 main streams of innovation projects, the one that are driven by partners, the one that are driven by startup, and those called high value care projects. We have also education platform. Actually, the education track is meant to be the Empower Lifelong Learners tool, where we divided the pathway of learning and as teaching in the entrepreneurship one and the professional one. Again, we would like to, on a side, transform healthcare and healthcare system, and on the other side, to contribute for building and scaling the healthcare companies. So we have a pathway for entrepreneurs and innovators, and also for professionals that would like to move from research side to the market side, and professional pathway to make the adoption of disruptive technologies like AI, digital tool, and so on, useful for the citizen and the patients, and thus for the healthcare system. Finally, we work in the business creation area, so to support and catalyze business ideas in each and every step of the development. Indeed, if you are a startup or either a team of researcher innovators that are thinking to build and to establish a company, you might approach us because we have this kind of program that will support you along the entire journey of the business development. So we have program for entry track, startups that are interesting at the funding stage of pre-seed and Series A, Then we have the scaling up phase. So startups that are interested to scale in Europe, but also beyond Europe, and startups that are interested in the investment. So they are looking for finance investment. They can also approach us. We have also other horizontal programs like the Open Innovation I mentioned, Wildcard, or the specific EIC supported venture program. We have another, for example, one that has been proudly selected for the Finance Booster, more recognition, a startup of the Italian Institute of Technology, that being already EIC supported venture has been awarded to enter in our program, indeed Finance Booster, for free. So as Cecilia said, this slide will be available for you. I will invite you to have a look at those opportunities for startup next year at the beginning of February, yes, late January, beginning of February, when the majority of this call will be kicked off. I would like to continue to introduce you the EAT Health Regional Innovation Scheme, because it's worth to mention that if we are here today is thanks to a cooperation with the EIT Regional Innovation Scheme and the Italian partners. So I would like not only to thank you, the Italian partners, to have taken the responsibility, but also the commitment to organize this, but also the colleagues of the RIS EATL teams that maybe are listening to us through the online platform, because this is the first successful, I hope successful, but I keep my finger crossed, successful morning talk series that we co-organize with Italian partners. So the Regional Innovation Scheme is that scheme that would like to support with the dedicated program the southern and the eastern country regions. And in EAT Health, we have been doing this according and thanks to a team of colleagues that are working since 2019 for supporting healthcare consortia, workshop and training facilitation, supporting startup, and also equipping innovators in new skill. And of course, we do not do this alone. As I mentioned already, we cooperate with that structure that are named Hub. In Italy, we have Consorzio ARCA, working with the RIS team, but also with us, the Italian network, very close. I don't know if they are online, but I would like to thank you also them for the cooperation. The RIS program is pretty attractive because we have been trying to ameliorate the offer of EAT Health, customizing it for the southern and eastern region needs. And we develop 4 different tracks, as you can see: the Startup Factory, the EAT Health RIS Academy, the Ecosystem Development, and the Innovation Discovery. I cannot go through all of this because as you can see from the following slide, each of these has several programs. But I will make some examples that to give you a flavor of what we do in each and every track. Startup Factory, as you can understand from the name, is that track that supports startup, again, in each and every step of the business development. Here you have InnoStars Awards, the EATL 3 Startup Demo Day, the program Startup Meets Pharma, the Health Venture Lab, the RIS Investor Forum, which, by the way, is happening in Portugal and is happening now in Portugal and will happen also in Poland, and the EATL 3 Attracted to Invest. These are interested for startups that are looking for training, looking for access to stakeholder, and looking for access to finance, okay? Then we have the ART-ER Academy, and this is a special track for entrepreneurship and professional training and as education activity. Here you have a plethora of online learning and collaboration programs that are organized through a platform, again, the RIS Academy. You can have also the Academy Scholarship. You can work with us for the Innovation Days that for us is another flagship program where we met with society, citizens, students, patients to co-create no solution in response to specific challenges. Then we have the Hello AI RIS Academy dedicated to the use of AI technology in the healthcare system, and the ART RIS alumni events. The ecosystem development is that track that combine and also, include all that opportunities to develop the ecosystem surrounding a specific area. The Morning Earth Talks are part of this ecosystem development. So as you can see here, we have different kind of programs, and I will leave you also the contact of the RIS team. You can ask for more details about it. About the Morning Earth Talks, this is a format that has been successfully kicked off already a year ago. And actually, it is meant to be an opportunity for strengthening the communication between the local stakeholder and the health innovation area surrounding a specific country. So that's why it's very important, this first cooperation among the RIS team, the InnoStars RIS team and the Italian partners, because addressing the topic of hospital engagement, they are developing a comprehensive discussion about this topic. And so far, we have had something as over 700 stakeholders participating, as I said, in different locations. And I do hope you will enjoy this, but also the next week appointments, next week events on the 10th of 11 in Napoli. Finally, we have the innovation discovery. This is where we scout for innovation. So we just closed the ART Health RIS Innovation Call. Again, another way to cooperate with the Italian partner network, because this call has been supported by some partners for presenting startup for applying to the call. We have also the ART Health RIS Innovation Training, and as well the ART Health RIS Innovation Partnering. If you want to learn more, I apologize if I was too fast, and also because this is not my main area, but here you have the contact on my colleagues. You can write them, and you have also access to our dedicated website for the RIS region. This is me. I thank you for your attention. I'm the ecosystem lead for Italy. You will find my email, and just to close, I would have loved to be there in presence, but since the majority knows I'm pregnant and I will deliver a baby in 2 weeks, so that's why I couldn't join you. This means that if we will approach you in the next 6 months, so you will be supported by a colleague that sooner is going to replace me. Again, thank you for your attention, and if there are any questions, I'm happy to take it.
Okay, thank you, Chiara. So we know about your D-Day, and good luck. First
thank
of all.
you.
But I want to say that if you are interested in going deep in the ATL's opportunities, ART-ER is a member and can give you a support, and also to explore which opportunity fits better for you. So in this call, the next call, there's not a limitation of the participation, so we can discuss. And if you have ideas, just try to say to us, and we will try to develop the idea in a project or in a program if it's possible. So thank you, Chiara. I know that you cannot be connected all the morning, but we start now to introduce our speakers. The first is Luca Battistelli, that is here in person. He's not the first talking, but I want to invite here please take the seat. And as I said this morning, we are going to talk about be part of innovation processes. So the main people here attending in person are people that comes from TT office and or innovation offices in hospitals or in university, because we think these offices are the main actors of this process. And we decided to try to introduce some organization models, some tools, some best practice around Europe in some healthcare systems that are more similar, more close to the Italian one. And so one of these is the experience of the Galician Health Knowledge Agency. We have the luck to have here with us José Maria Romeo Fidalgo. That is, he is the director for health development and innovation area. So is Romero on? Okay. Hi, Romero.
Hi, hello, good morning.
So I just leave you the floor for your presentation, and then after, if there are some questions, we have the discussion session for the question from the attendants. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Romero.
thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen. Just a minute. I think you can see. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cecilia, and it's a pleasure to be part of this IT health event. And first of all, I would like to talk about the Galician innovation strategy. Well, a short introduction about Galicia. As Cecilia mentioned, we are a region in the northwest of Spain. We have a population of 2.7 million inhabitants, and we face two problems that maybe they are also known by you. The first one is the aging. We have nowadays 22.5% of our population in Galicia that is over 65. And it's important also to mention that Galicia will be one of the regions in the world with the highest ratio of centenarians per inhabitants. And also we face the second problem, that is that we have a very widespread population. We have in a region of 2.7 million of inhabitants, 3,775 locations. So as you can imagine, we have difficulties in communication. But I would like to talk about the Galician healthcare system, the innovation and how it is structured. As you know, Spain has a decentralized system, and the policies related with health and education are decentralized to the regions. In the case of the government of Galicia, it is called Xunta de Galicia, and we have the Ministry of Health, that is the Conselleria de Sanidade, and it is divided into different agencies and public foundations. The main agency is our public healthcare provider, that is Sergas, Servicio Galego de Saúde, that manage all hospitals and primary care centers. But we also have some public bodies related with different aspects. One of this public body is the Galician Health Knowledge Agency, where I work and where I'm Director of Health Innovation, that is in charge of health research, health innovation, and also training of health professionals. But we have other agencies and foundations, such as the Public Foundation of Emergencies 061 and others. About the Galician health services, in Galicia, it is divided in 7 health areas, one each main city, Coruña, Santiago, Pontevedra, Vigo, Ferrol, Lugo, and Ourense. And the region, it is divided into 4 provinces. Some figures to see the dimension of Sergas and of the Galician health structure. Well, we manage 14 hospitals, public hospitals, and about 500 primary care centers. We have 90 emergency centers with more than 36,000 of healthcare professionals. We manage a budget of about 4,000 millions of euros. There were figures of last year, and that it corresponds more than 40% of the total Galician public budget. So as you can imagine, the government of Galicia mainly manage health, and also about 30% of the total budget of the Galician public budget, it's for education. And some figures about Sergas. Well, we have in 1 year 25 million primary care visits, 4 million hospitals visits, and for instance, 67 million prescriptions at pharmacies. The innovation pillars of the Galician Health Service. Well, that's the 3 main pillars of Sergas. We have one of the most powerful electronic health record systems in Europe. I would like also to address this point because Galicia is one of the regions in Europe that we have a unique electronic health record system for hospitals and also for primary care systems. So as you can imagine, the powerful of this tool. Also, Galicia is leading public procurement of innovation, especially in the health sector, but also in other sectors. And we are trying to deal with health innovations through dedicated teams. And one of the aspects to manage the health innovation here in Galicia is the creation in 2015 of the Galician Health Knowledge Agency. This agency is an instrument that it's used to optimally disseminate knowledge in aspects of health research, of health innovation. Also, we have the unit of assessing technologies and also training for healthcare professionals. But we don't work alone. We have a knowledge ecosystem where we would like that ASIS will be in the center, acting with different actors. We aim to promote, revitalize, and also support the relationships about research centers. In Galicia, we have 3 biomedical research institutes, one in Galicia, in Santiago, one in Coruña, and another one in Vigo. Of course, we have a strong relationship with the Galician Health Services, with Sergas, but with other actors such as the business sectors, with the Galician clusters, and also companies, and also with the academia, with the 3 universities that we have in Galicia, in Vigo, in Santiago, and also in Coruña, and another public and private research institutes. Well, the main aspects of the innovation, health innovation in Galicia, that's finished with the transformation of the Galician health services. Well, to start with, I would like to say that our strategy was always, and it is always, focused on the aging population. Aging is on the top of the Galician priorities. That's why our RIS 3 in Challenge 3 aims to position Galicia as a leading innovation region in the south of Europe for innovation, for improving quality of life and healthier and safer eating by paying special attention to elderly people. And we also have an active participation in international networks. One of these networks is the EIP ONAHA reference sites. When we started in 2013 with 2 stars, then 3 years later, we had 3 stars in the second call for reference sites. And in 2019 and recently in this year, we got the 4 stars out of 4 stars of Galicia as a reference site for the EIP ONAHA network. The 3 main aspects that I would like to address here in this conference about how to promote innovation in Galicia. Well, the first aspect is the promotion of the health innovation, digital transformation, and the transfer of biomedical research results. In Galicia, we have the health innovation nodes. This is a very flexible structure that we have. That is that we have 7 innovation nodes, 1 per each care area, that is in charge of managing the ideas of health innovation that are proposed by professionals, but also by patients as well. We have the Health Innovation Platform, that is a network and software that seeks to support health professionals to foster and develop their innovative ideas. And this is an open channel to professional patients and also companies, caregivers, and so on. The central node is here in ASIS, is the Health Innovation Department. And we have one coordinator, coordinator of these nodes in each of care area of the 7 care areas of Galicia. It's important for us because we know what is going on the 7 health areas, and the areas knows also what are the challenges that we face at the central services. On the top level decisions, we have the Health Innovation Council, where the president is the Galician Health Ministry. It's an official council that it was published in the Galician official bulletin. And the secretary is the director of the health department and innovation area here in ASIS. It's a board of different people that they are in charge or that they work partially in innovation aspects, that they like to address things related with innovation at very top level. Then another aspect that we have here in Galicia is to try to transfer research and development results. We would like to transfer all the scientific results that are generated in our hospital laboratories, in our biomedical research institutes, through health research institutes and foundations. And one of the examples is the last spin-off that it was created through in the laboratory of the Hospital of Santiago, that is Diversa, that also the Galician Health Services is part of this spin-off. And of course, we aim to promote the digital transformation of the Galician health services. One of the examples is the last project that we had co-founded by the new Next Generation EU funds. That is the project of Tartaglia. That it's we aim to create an artificial intelligence federated network to accelerate health research. It's a big project with more than 15 public and private entities, and with a total budget of 7.6 billion euros. Another very important aspect that we have here in Galicia is what we call open innovation. That's a big overview of our health innovation plans. These innovation plans, they were and they are part of the main strategic area of the Galician Health Services. The plans are related with public procurement of innovation projects. The first one, it was in 2012. It was Hospital 2050 and Innova Saúde. It was the first national public procurement of innovation initiative here in Spain, with a total budget of 19 million euros. The second plan was the Código 100, that it was launched in 2016 with a total budget of 13 million euros. And now ongoing, we have two plans. One is Innova Trial and another Innova Micro Lab. This very hard work that we started in 2012, it was recognized by the European Innovation Council last year in 2021, when we were the winners of the first European Innovation Public Procurement Awards. We'll start with the first project that it was in 2012, that it was Hospital 2050 and Innova Saúde health plans. There were two plans with a budget of 45 million euros. And the main objectives, it was to provide the Galician public health system with innovative products and services using the tool of public procurement of innovation. It was co-founded by the ART-ER funds, and the projects that are here described, and that then you will have the opportunity to check also when we will share with you the slides. There were 14 projects mainly focused on digital transformation in Innova Saúde, and 9 projects in Hospital 2050, the other main project. And we had 33 PPI contracts and 1 PCP contract. As I mentioned before, it was the first PPI initiative implemented at national level in the health sector. And some impacts of this public procurement of innovation project. Well, it was the big participation and concurrency in this health plan, where we had more than 300 proposals for innovative ideas, more than 100 companies that they participated in the technical dialogues. Then also, we improve public services through these innovative solutions. Some of the main software and digital solutions that we are using now, they were part of Hospital 2050 and Innova Saúde plans. We also, with this tool, we also aim to foster innovation in companies, especially in SMEs, where 85% of awarded contracts had an SME engaged. And we also aim to promote internationalization and commercialization of innovation, where 15 of the awards were more than 1 company participations. The second health plan was Código 100. Código 100, it was a plan to aim to turn Galicia into a region of reference in innovation in active agents. There were solutions. We had a call where we received more than 200 proposals related with digital therapies, advanced therapies related with aging. And of course, we use different tools to receive these proposals. One, it was the market consultation online platform. Also, we had some workshops with 41 patient associations. We also made some inquiry to health professionals. And the result was a project of 13 million euros divided into 3 innovation lines that implemented all PPI procedures, PCP, PPI, and also innovation partnership procedures. Well, the first line was patient empowerment, that there were some projects that they were aimed at strengthening the rights and the capacities of individuals. We had here in this innovation line 5 tenders with an amount of 2.6 million euros. The second line was the line that we called of professionals. Then there were initiatives to increase the skills of professionals, modernize the system, and promote an innovative culture among them. There were 4 tenders with a total amount of 3.2 million euros. And the last one was advanced therapies, that they were developments in biotechnology and biomedical fields in order to increase the personalized medicine in the Galician health system. There were 6 tenders with a total amount of 2.2 million euros. But as I mentioned before, these plans, we have new plans ongoing. The first one is Innova Trial with a total budget of 12 million euros that will we look for innovative solutions in the field of an integrated IT system for management of biomedical research and health science studies. And the other project that is Innova Microlab, that arise from the need to address an existing global health problem, that is the resistance to antimicrobial drugs. It's a PCP project with a total budget of 5.7 million euros, and that is the first project that it is developed with a health area of Galicia, that is the health area of Coruña, that is led by this health area, and of course with the help and the support of the Galician Health Knowledge Agency. Another main project that we have related with open innovation is the creation of the Galician network of health living labs, as we call here Lab Saúde, that it is an initiative which turns the Galician health service into real environments for testing innovative solutions. We had, thanks to Hospital 2050 and Innova Saúde project, we have the best scenario that is that it was built in the Hospital of Ourense. And I mentioned that it's the best scenario because right now the province of Ourense, the demographic characteristics of the province of Ourense are a reflection of what the European population will be in the year 2050. Thanks to this PPI initiative, we built some facilities for experimental uses with different type of rooms for testing innovative solutions with patients, as experimental rooms, multisensorial stimulation rooms, also upostrophy rooms, but more locations that I have here in these pictures. And last year, we launched the first call to look for living lab projects to test in Ourense. As I mentioned, we have all the necessary medical equipment, and also, of course, the main value that are the health professionals and also the patients to test new healthcare technologies. In this living lab, what we aim to explore is the quadruple helix, where we engage citizens and patients, businesses and clusters, the public administrations, and also the academia with health researchers and universities. As I mentioned, we launched a public call for companies about around 6 innovation lines. Here you have the 6 innovation lines of this call. And finally, we awarded 6 living lab projects. Here we have the picture when it was the day with the Galician Health Ministry that signed the contracts, the agreements between the companies to develop these projects that they are now ongoing there in the health living lab of the Hospital of Ourense. And the last one aspect that, the last topic that I would like to address in this conference is the internationalization of the health innovation process. Our internationalization is based into 2 different aspects. One are the networks. One of the networks that I mentioned before is the European Innovation Partnership on Active and Healthy Aging, where we are reference sites with 4 stars. We are also part related with Lab Saúde, with the Living Lab of Galicia. We are also members of the European Networks of Living Labs, the ENOL, and also we are part as network partners of the Spanish node of IT Health. But we work with different European projects. Here you have some examples of the projects that they are ongoing and new ones that we have. One is the Titan project that now in the last call of the Interreg Europe projects, we made an extension where we were sharing good practices related with COVID-19. We have also a project related with personalized medicines that is Regions for Permits, that is led in this case by an Italian partner that is the Toscana. Another project related with health, public procurement of innovation is Procure for Health, where we are also part of this project. And now we are in new, one is Invest for Health, another is DIRCE, and of course we are still applying for leading projects and also to be part of European projects with the aim of have always Galician Health Service international size. And that's all from my part. Thank you very much to attend the conference, and of course questions are welcome, and I will be part of this discussion panel that I think we will have after all the presentations. Thank you very much, Cecilia. Well, I cannot hear you. I don't know if you... No, I cannot hear you now.
We just go through the agenda.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. I was saying that it was impressive. The number. I would like to ask you really a lot of things, but we have to go through the agenda. So now I pass to the floor to Luca Pattistelli, who is Technology Transfer Innovation Manager in Istituto Romagnolo per lo Studio dei Tumori, that is an oncological hospital, and is an hospital for care and research. So he's going to present the model of how they apply the innovation, they practice the innovation. Thank you. Luca, the floor is yours.
it's okay? Yes, okay. As I said, I belong to an IRCS, that is IRST. I'm the innovation manager, and today I talk about the innovation management in an IRCS. But first of all, the definition of IRCS, because IRCS is an Italian acronym of Istituti di Ricovero e Cura a Carattere Scientifico, that in English means Hospital of Excellence that have research purpose, translational research, and also hospitalization and care services. So we are an hospital with a research branch inside our hospital. And IRCS, there are 53 IRCS in Italy, divided into public and private, and that belongs to area of expertise. This is the area of expertise, and could be monospecialistic or plurispecialistics. In Emilia-Romagna region, we have 5 IRCS that are Rizzoli for orthopedics, Bellaria for neurology, and Sant'Orsola for oncology. These 3 are in Bologna. Then we have Reggio Emilia for oncology, IRST, my institute, that is a center for oncology. Another definition is technology transfer, because of course, if you perform a translational research, one of the activity important inside an IRCS is the technology transfer, because the technology transfer is all the set of activities that transfer knowledge, technologies, product, and so on, from scientific research to the market, to make accessible to a wide range of users, in our case, of course, patients. Is the famous from the bench to the bedside. If you put the technology transfer and IRCS together, you have the innovation management. This is our vision. So, as I said, it's important to perform the translational and transferability of results from research to clinical practice, of course, for the patients, and it means the dialogue with the companies, because the industrialization is very important to perform a good innovation management. Who we are, very briefly, we are a center of excellence for cancer research and treatment. As you can see in the mission, it's very highlighted the translational research, and we are a public-private hospital, mainly public, 75% is public. And we have, of course, the clinical part. This is some numbers of our clinical activities. The main building is in Meldola, in the south part of Emilia-Romagna region. And we have also the management of the oncology ward in Forlì, the oncomatology ward branch department in Cesena, and the radiotherapy in Ravenna. And this is, of course, we manage all tumor sites, not pediatric adult, but all tumor sites from breast, pancreas, and so on. This is our numbers in research. So we have impact factors and clinical trial, almost 300 clinical studies, active clinical studies. And as you can see, our revenues is around 100 million. It's not so big, but almost 20% of these revenues are reinvested for research and development inside our hospital. This is our 4 research line, and every research line have a project, active project. The active projects are almost 300 inside our institute. But all of these have to be managed, and we manage with the research and technology and the research technology transfer and teaching office. How we build this office? We build this office taking into account the TRL scale grade. Okay, the TR scale grade is the grade of maturity of the innovation of our idea, our research. So we start from 1, that is the idea, then the proof of concept, the technology demonstration, till the market, that is TR 9. So in the part of the idea till the proof of concept, we have an operating unit called fundraising unit that perform networking, project design, and open innovation. Then we have the technology transfer unit from the proof of concept to the phase 1 clinical trial, more or less. That is perform IP management, so intellectual property, international relationship, and exploitation. Then in the last part, we had the project management that are more related with the clinical trial and the dialogue with industries, okay, and legal affair, of course. And then we have a translational operating unit that is teaching and training, then touch all the 3 parts of the TRL. The innovation management. Okay, inside our institute is a long and winding road. That is a beautiful, beautiful song of the Beatles, but also a painful, time-consuming, and so on inside our institute, because there are a lot of activities to innovation management inside our institute, inside the NIRCs, of course. I list some of these activities that are ecosystem assets, and we will see what does it means, all these activities. And first, ecosystem. The first step was in 2016, and we decided to be part of the I Technology Network. That is a network of the Emilia-Romagna region of certified laboratories, okay, that works and perform services and activities for third parties, mainly companies that have no assets inside the companies and want to perform some services outside, okay? And we decided to be certified by the Emilia-Romagna region. Yesterday we renewed that, okay, for the 6 years. And this is the first step that we have done to be part of an ecosystem. The second one was to be part of the cluster, another initiative of the Emilia-Romagna region that is an association that's supporting the competitiveness of the Emilia-Romagna healthcare sector, okay, composed by industry, research institute, companies, care providers, and also patient association. We are founders of the cluster. If I remember well, we were 12. Now are more than 100 members, and we dialogue daily with the clusters and with the partner of the cluster to perform innovation management and to show our research outside or inside the clusters. Another step that we have done, thanks also to an experience that the cluster done, was the asset analysis. We decided to analyze our assets, our research, and decide the 3 main assets to invest in medium and long term. We done this experience with the consulting company, that is Ernst & Young, and the results was that ERS have 3 main assets that are radiopharmacy, cell and gene therapy, and big data and AI. So the second step was to decide the 3 main research to invest in the medium and long term. This doesn't mean that the other research lines are not funded by our institute, of course, but these are the 3 main research lines. Networking. Another activity that we perform is networking. We divide the networking into 2 branches. The first one is for funding, for fundraising, okay? and is performed by the grant office. And the other one we will see is international relationship is moved for technology transfer and the dialogue with the companies all around the world. As you can see, this is the international network partner, the national network partners, and this is used for to build consortium to get funds, for example, for the European Union or for the national agency, funding agency, like Ministry of Health, for example. This is our new experience. We open an international research office in Brussels to be close to the funding agency, so to be close to the European community. And we open in this year, and it's a new experience, we will see. The international relationship, we are part of a lot of international consortium, like ICPermed. We have a dialogue with Africa, with the Latin American countries, and also with US, and with cluster. We attended a lot of fair in the, for example, Korea, Japan, and we are also in a consortium with China, with Europe-China consortium. One of the experience that we have done in 2021 and 22 are the Bridging Innovation Project of the Emilia-Romagna region. The first one is for digital health, and the other one is for gene and cell therapy in Pennsylvania. The first one was in Boston. And these two programs was very, very, very fruitful for us, because especially for Pennsylvania's one, now we are signing the agreement with the two institutions in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, that are University of Pennsylvania and Wistar Institute, to perform activities with these two very important institutions in United States. This is our fundraising activities. I don't want to celebrate us, but this is the results of the networking and international relationship and so on. So in 7 years, we submitted more 400 projects with a rate of success of 20%. Of course, when we start, the rate success is not 20%, but with the networking so on, we reach this number. And at national, European, and international project, of course. This is some example of the project that we get funded. The first one is the rendering of the new pharmaceutical factory that will open next year. This is a GMP radiopharmaceutical factories voted to research, innovation, and development. So in innovation, also in this case, is funded by Emilia-Romagna region and the Ministry of Economic Development, and we build around this new experience free project. The first one is an Erasmus Plus project. Student around Europe will come and we teach something about radiopharmacy and medical and nuclear medicine. And another project where Cluster is a partner is the project Secure for the supply chain and so on. And the last one is PNRR. There's the National Consortium for Innovation Development or Radiopharmaceutical that get funds from the PNRR. another project, this is the project of the three main assets that I showed before. So another project is Two Horizon European project. As you can see from the acronym, is strictly related because one is trumpet, the other one is flute. The consortium is almost the same, and the leading partner of the trumpet is in Galicia, in Vigo, yeah. And also in flute, there is a partner from Galicia. And the other one is related to gene and cell therapy. We get fund for PNRR and also for the Ministry of Health. We have two cell factories. One is for dendritic cell vaccines and the other one for CAR-T production. The IP management, we strongly believe that if you want to innovate, if you want to manage your innovation, you have to protect your research. So the first step was to set up a nearest patent agreement, so the rules inside the institute. And then we have a deposit of 6 priority requests with 3 patents granted. And we sign a license and development agreement for one of these patents with a company. Recently, we signed this agreement. We also have an activity of exploitation. On Friday, we had the news that these 3 projects are funded by the Ministry of Health. All 3 are based on 3 patents that we have. So for the proof of concept. So to start from the proof of concept till the phase 1. Okay. We have 2 years. I don't know if we reach the phase 1 clinical trial, but we try. And another phase of exploitation is more related with the investors, the venture capital. This is the two experience that we have done in this year. The first one is an accelerator of Deloitte. So 1,000 project, 6 winner, one is Aras with our patent, and now we are mentoring. We have a sort of mentoring with Deloitte and a pharmaceutical company that is Merck, and it's very, very interesting experience. And the other one is for Fondazione Golinelli here in Bologna. In this case, we reached the last phase. We were in 12, but we do not win, but we try the next year. And the last part of our innovation management is the teaching and training. This is an experience that the Ministry of Health organize, and we are the coordinator of this experience. That is the Technology Transfer School. This year we organized the 5th edition of this school. Is for the IRCs researchers, and we give some basis on technology transfer, patent management, and so on. And of course, in 2012 was a webinar because for pandemic reason. 2021, unfortunately, we can't organize this school, but in October we start again in presence. So lesson learned. We learned that be part of an ecosystem is an added value. As I said before, we have a strongly dialogue with the cluster and so on to promote our research. Networking and international relationship is time consuming but strategic. And asset analysis as a key point to have a focused strategic plan. Okay. And fundraising, we learned that fundraising means the right project for the right call. We said to our researchers that you have not to stretch your project, because the goal say, okay, it's a cell therapy, my research is not very cell therapy. No, doesn't work. You have to choose the right goal for your project. IP management is the starting point for a fruitful innovation management. You have to protect your research. And last but not least, teach, but do not stop to learn, I write, because we participate in a lot of conferences, seminars, and workshops to learn more. Okay. So thank you. This is our experience, open for discussion and questions.
Thank you, Luca. It was really interesting also your presentation and your result. Is a long trip.
Yeah.
7 years is quite a long trip. So we have now to run to the next speakers. I'm sorry we have a little bit late, but I want to steal time to the discussion. And I give the floor to Alexandra and Lorenzo, hospital administrator and leader for the Centro Ospedaliero Universitario di Coimbra. He's talking from an hospital, so we can say, and their experience in innovation. So, Alexandra, welcome. Good morning. Can you hear me? We cannot hear you, so.
Yes, and I'm not hearing you very well, but
Yes,
I believe that you can improve the sound, but I will continue. First of all, it's a pleasure. First of all, it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. Unfortunately, it was not possible to travel to Bologna. Well, I would love to, but it wasn't really possible. So my talk today, it will be related with what we call the 10 steps for everything remaining the same. Let me just make a brief introduction of myself. My name is Alexandre Lourenço. I'm, as you were mentioning, I'm an hospital administrator at Coimbra University Hospital. Coimbra University Hospital is probably the biggest hospital in Portugal. We have more than 8,000 employees and a little bit more than 1,700 beds, acute beds. But most of our importance is related with the ecosystem that you are in, that this is the Coimbra ecosystem. As in Galicia, we are also a reference site on aging, and we have several partnerships with Coimbra University and also Instituto Pedro Nunes, that is a science-based entity that supports the overall ecosystem in healthcare. So, but let me just focus in the work that we do inside the hospital. We also belong to the ETL, to the InnoStars network, and we are currently managing a little bit more than 5 million euros on EU innovation projects funded by Horizon Europe, H2020, but mostly related with innovation and aging. For example, projects in remote rehabilitation, remote monitorization of patients, but also some innovation projects related mostly also with training of healthcare professionals, even under the IETF network. But let me focus here on my presentation, and mostly what I wanted to bring to you this morning is this 10 steps for everything remaining the same. As I was mentioning, I'm an hospital administrator, and from my experience, it's very easy to not develop innovation within the hospital's ecosystem. So these are just to show you the main. Let me show you. I don't think it's moving, but I will. Let me just move this. Let me just try to show you. Oh, there is, sorry. So mostly let me just try to present you these 10 steps for everything remaining the same. So most of it are, and I will, of course, the presentation will be at your disposal. So the first one is maintaining the routine. The second one, accept professionalism and bureaucracy. The third one, maintaining the healthcare silos. The fourth, limit participation and ignore ideas. The fifth, maintain the current payment models. The sixth, limit management autonomy. The seventh, no deal with IT interoperability. The eighth, ask for more regulation. The ninth, ignore innovation. And 10th, ignore population needs. Let me just drill down to each of them. First of all, the first one, maintain the routine. As you know, hospitals are quite busy, and it's quite easy for an hospital manager to be only focused in day-to-day problems and not to think ahead. And mostly, we did recently a survey on the time that hospital managers spend, and 80% of the time that they spend are related with administrative issues. So they are not even related with strategic or clinical quality. Mostly it's administrative work. So if you want to everything remain the same, it's just to do it this sort of status quo. If we want to engage the hospital innovation processes, we really need to have hospital managers that will dedicate their time and resources to innovation. And what we tried, for example, here at Coimbra University Hospital, is to have an innovation department where we have specific resources, human resources, but also facilities related with or developed for innovation. So the second one is accept professionalism and bureaucracy. As you know, hospitals and the overall healthcare is mostly dominated by institutional and professionalized forces. What is this? This is can be phrased as the doctor knows best and bureaucratic vision that clients are the humanized object. So we are mostly focused in volume. We are mostly focused on the healthcare system opinion or on the doctor's opinion, and actually we don't look at the patient needs. So one of the issues is to continue to embrace this idea that of professionalism and bureaucracy, and not focus in what is needed. That is to look at the patient's needs. So this idea that the patient knows best. So if you want to continue and to have everything as it is, we will continue to this model of care and business model that is mostly related with professional needs and institutional needs of the organizations. So the third one is the maintaining the healthcare silo. So as you know, healthcare has different levels, and actually we have lots of problems on the interfaces, on the patient transfers between these silos, from primary care to hospitals, from hospitals to long-term facilities. So if we want to maintain everything as it is, we will continue to have an healthcare system that is based on these levels of care. It's important to know that even yesterday I was in Dublin making a presentation on a different topic, on key challenges for the healthcare system. And actually I was presenting a slide. I don't know if you know what it is, the Dawson Report. The Dawson Report was a document in the 1920, published in 1920, that established these levels of care. And actually, we continue 102 years after to have all our healthcare system organized in these different levels of care, in this institutional framework where the providers do not communicate with each other. And these silos, of course, will limit the possibility to develop innovation, mostly because our patients, they are not only acute patients when they arrive to the hospitals, they are chronic patients that they are born in the hospitals, they live most of their time or their lives within the hospitals, they need continuous contacts with the hospitals, and eventually they will die within the hospital. And most of our patients nowadays are chronic patients that will have this continuous or this need for continuum of care that hospitals are not designed to provide, and they will need to be in these different providers, or to have care on these different providers, and this has lots of problems. And actually, it's what we call integration of care. What we tried to deal within the Coimbra ecosystem was mostly to focus in dealing with these interfaces between the hospitals and social providers and primary care. So this idea that we need to build these relationships and to develop projects and innovation with other providers. Even we created now, or we were awarded by a call from the European Union that is related with testing and experimentation facilities. And our proposal from the Coimbra ecosystem was to have the hospital, primary care, but also social providers where we can have this continuum. Mostly, we also engage with municipalities that are also a major player when we are talking about innovation. And even in other projects that we are developing, we have always the municipality also engagements where they are also major players within our projects. So the fourth one is limit participation and ignore ideas. So actually, our colleague from Galicia presented the open innovation strategy that they have in Galicia, and we are also trying to implement a new open innovation within our hospital, open innovation strategy. Mostly with this idea that most of the problems are identified by healthcare professionals. We need also to realize that we need to support that problem identification. And when we develop this awareness for healthcare professionals that they can identify problems, and we are going to identify companies, startups, academic partners that can help us on dealing with those problems, is very, very important. So what we are trying to do is mostly to create this cultural approach, or this cultural change approach, where healthcare professionals feel the openness from the innovation department to express their problems, to express their ideas, and then we are going to try to identify partners in the community, mostly from startups, academic partners, research partners, to deal with those problems. We have some experiences on this. For example, we have very interesting projects where our healthcare professionals identified problems, and when we engage with different community partners, or from academic or research partners, it's possible to deal and to develop ideas that at some point they are going to be new services to our patients. So it's not only about, of course, this openness and this strategy to deal with the healthcare professionals, but also with patients. And I believe in healthcare, we continue to be quite reluctant to talk with patients, to engagement on the redesigning of health services. So in that sense, we also have some strategies related with design thinking, where we need to engage patients, or where we engage patients on the way that we deliver care. So if you want to remain, or for everything to remain the same, is really not to take care of the current problems that we have on the organizations, and not to listen to patients. So the fifth one is related with maintaining the payment models. As you know, most of our healthcare system is funded according to the inputs. When I say input, is the number of hospital beds, the number of healthcare professionals, and some of our hospitals across Europe continue to be funded based on this input data. And in most of the cases now, we are evolving, of course, to output payment models. When I say output payment models, we are talking about diagnostic related groups, where hospitals are paid by the number of discharges, or the complexity of those patient discharges, or the number of surgeries, or the number of clinical appointments. And this actually is not adding value to the healthcare system. We are mostly focused on volume. And if we are only focusing on volume, of course, the providers will deliver volume, and actually they will continue to do as they always did, only focus on those volumes. So if we want to innovate on the payment model, on the way that we engage with innovation, we need to rethink the system. If not, everything will remain the same, and at the end, from the input, output, we will have a system kaput. So what we try to do, and even I recommend you to visit the High Value Care Forum website within the IT Health, where I'm also a member of the advisory board, where we mostly focus on the providing high value, and payment models play a very important role in this. When we're talking about this moving from fee for service to bundle payments, for example, or pay for performance, we are engaging and allowing organizations to innovate. Mostly in the idea that if we pay, for example, for the quality of the care delivered, for the outcomes, mostly what we will achieve is the possibility of the healthcare provider to organize care, or the best way to organize care, promoting quality, and of course, giving the possibility to the healthcare provider to innovate. The sixth one is limited organizational autonomy, and this one is quite relevant in my opinion. One of the issues that we need to foster innovation is to allow that organizations are focused in delivering the best care for the community. If we don't allow them to be autonomous, of course they will always be in this top-down management, and they will follow, of course, or at least they will try to follow what is at the central level recommendation. So we need hospitals, we need organizations that are able to take decisions, and that they have the possibility to engage with different partners. So the worst thing that we can have is, for example, an hospital that thinks that is self or a completely solo provider. We need hospitals, we need organizations that realize that they can develop partnerships with the community partners. And what I was mentioning previously about municipalities, I'm talking about of research centers, startups, and this possibility needs to be there. If we want hospitals to remain exactly the same, we inhibit this kind of autonomy in these areas. Another issue I believe is quite important is related with the possibility of developing innovation procurement. One of the areas that we are quite focused here at the Coimbra University Hospital, also with the support by our innovation agency, is to develop innovation procurement. And of course, we have some partnerships with different hospitals across and healthcare systems across Europe. For example, we are developing now a very interesting project that is called ROSIA. You can find it on the internet. That is www.rosia-pcp.eu. That is mostly to develop remote rehabilitation in rural areas. So if we want really to have to the ecosystem to evolve, hospitals to evolve toward innovation, we need to give them tools like innovation procurement that will allow them to foster innovation. And I think I'm missing the slide, but the seventh one was interoperability, and I will go to the red tape. But one of the major issues that we have currently in the ecosystem is related. Let me just get here. It's the interoperability issue regarding the digital. And one of the issues that we really need to focus is really to find ways of dealing with this. Of course, there are these different European initiatives like the health data space, but we need to find ways of dealing with the impossibility to communicate between our IT systems. And one of the ways of doing it, I remember, and you probably remember that 40, 50 years ago, it wasn't possible to, I don't know if any of, I don't know what is the age of our audience, but I remember to travel and to need to have traveler checks with me. Traveler checks, it was some sort of a voucher where when we needed, for example, to visit Italy, we didn't bring money with us, and we need to have this kind of traveler checks to go to a bank to get some, so for withdrawing money. But this was mostly avoided when we started to use Visa or MasterCards, where there is a third provider that it doesn't have access to all our data, but it enables the communication between different banks, and it allows us to go to all of the retailers and to be able to buy. And no one nowadays mostly travel with money if you have a Visa, MasterCard, or an American Express card. So at European level, we really need to deal with this because it limits completely the possibility of innovation. Even within our organizations, we continue to have, and even in my hospital, to different databases, different IT systems that actually they don't communicate with itself. So we need to have within our hospitals strategies that will deal with the issues of interoperability. So if you want to everything to remain the same, you are not going to deal with this, and everything will be maintained the same. Let me go to the red tape. So one of the issues that we have in healthcare, and I believe that we are going to face this, and we are facing this, is this problem about the red tape. So most of we have several players within the healthcare ecosystem that mostly are asking for more regulation. And I believe that even though within healthcare regulation plays a very important role, and we see this, for example, in pharma, we need to be conscious that we need to foster innovation, and regulation should not be a barrier to develop products. So one of the strategies that we found within the Portuguese ecosystem is to create these safe spaces where artificial intelligence or medical devices can be tested without within a protected space, or within a living labs and test beds, where they are able to develop and to get volume and to work with healthcare. So most of the hospitals, and if they want to everything remain the same, the strategy should be mostly focused in this idea that we are not going to test anything, because there are several steps that you need to deal, and you are going to not be able to test these technologies with us. So one thing that we need to consider within even the hospitals is the possibility to have a front office that will deal with startups, and to have the facilities to test technology and to engage with different startups and even SMEs to test technology. So if you don't want to do it, don't create these front offices and create lots of red tape for the innovators. So the ninth step is to ignore completely innovation. We know this from, probably you know the book from Christensen, that was the mentor of the disruptive innovation. That the book is named The Innovator's Dilemma, and it's a very important academic contribution to innovation. So what we know is that innovators, at some point, we are going to have some specific innovations that, even though they have lower quality, they will of course incrementally gain quality, and at some point they will replace the incumbents. I believe that this is quite applicable to the current healthcare system. We have hospitals that are legacy providers that are there, as I was mentioning, mostly for the last 70 years. I continue to be organized as they were in the post-war, so organizing medical specialties quite vertically, without communicating and without creating this continuum of care for patients. And we have now providers that are coming to the market that will provide, of course, most of the times a lower quality product, for example, as video calls, but at some point they will continue to increase quality. But they have one component that is very relevant for the community, that is the accessibility and convenience to the patient. And this kind of products, at some point, even during the pandemic, our patients started to realize that they can have access to some healthcare services remotely. And I believe new generations are quite open to this kind of new models of care. And if we don't realize that these new models of care have the possibility to replace these legacy providers as hospital, mostly primary care services, and if we don't embrace and if we don't integrate this technology within our healthcare services, at some point, these new providers, these new models of care, these new business models will replace, at least partially, what we are currently doing. So what we should do is create opportunities to integrate innovation within our hospitals, within our legacy ecosystem, and not to ignore that there are different players out there providing, well, of course, lower quality products, but at some point they are much more convenient and they will increase quality according also to the evolution of technology. So again, if you want to everything to remain the same, of course, we will continue to ignore that different providers, different solutions are on the market and are being developed at the current moment. So the last one, the 10th step, is mostly to ignore population needs. I usually show this picture. This is from Honduras. It was a tropical storm that changed the course of the river. I use this usually as a metaphor of the healthcare system. And most of the current patient needs are completely different from 20, 30 years ago. So as I was mentioned, aging and multimorbidity are probably the biggest challenges that we have in the healthcare system. And our healthcare system, this legacy healthcare system, continues to be organized as it was 70 years ago. So actually, we are stuck at the same process. We are crystallized, and we are not being able to address our population needs. We continue to have an healthcare system that didn't realize that population needs are completely different from what we are offering currently, mostly in this idea that we are not asking patients what they want. And we are losing quality, we are losing convenience, and we are not dealing with the population needs. And we can see this by, for example, to realizing that we have several problems and the inability of the current system, for example, to promote prevention, to promote health promotion, to deal with social disparities. We need to realize that the current healthcare ecosystem is not providing a good service, and we need to create mostly an ecosystem that probably will need to engage with also social providers to provide different kind of services. We continue to have an ecosystem that is mostly in a welfare state, that is mostly created basing on silos, social services, primary care, hospital services, long-term services, and actually each of us are not being able to use the system correctly, and we produce a lot of waste. And even this waste will, in the current situation that we are going to have this probably this fiscal and economic crisis, we need to realize that we need to use our resources more correctly. Let me just finalize, if I may, with our, I call the Uber lessons for the healthcare. So first of all, the first option that we have for for the healthcare system is really to ignore innovators and hope for the best. And actually, I believe that is mostly what we are doing currently at the European level. The second one is ask for increasing regulation, okay, to make harder to innovators to enter the market. And actually, as I was mentioning previously, we see that we have several players that are asking for more regulation and making it harder to new ideas, to new solutions, to new services to enter the markets. And the third one that I recommend to all hospitals and to the audience that is following is to compete on quality and efficiency, disruptive as it can be. And for that, we really need to engage with the innovation ecosystem, and we need to create hospitals that are flexible enough to work with the demands of an innovators community that is there and that needs to be taken care and to have the support of the legacy providers to evolve. So this is my final message. Thank you so much. I'm open, of course, for the questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alexander. It was really interesting and really funny also. So thank you. We move to the discussion. Let me introduce Nicole Ticchi. She is the communication manager in our regional cluster for health and well-being. She's a writer too, and she manages the topics of innovation in the health field. So I leave the stage, in this case, not only the screen, and she will moderate the discussion. No?
Okay, now I think
it's better.
Okay,
it's better.
now the microphone is.
So thank you everyone for being here, and I'm Nicole Ticchi, and I would like to introduce this moment of discussion with our guest speakers that are on in presence and also in other parts of the world, and with the people that are actually here today that are actually working in the healthcare ecosystem. So feel free to raise your hands, to ask questions, to talk about your experience actually. And the first question that I would like to ask to our speaker in presence, but also to the other guests, is about the importance of the cultural context in which your ecosystem is actually growing. Because you, for example, the last speaker talked a lot about innovation and how to not ignore ideas, how to not ignore innovation, how to not ignore the participation of all the actors in the ecosystem. And I would like to ask to all of you actually, which is the cultural context influence to lead a proper innovation ecosystem towards success. So, want to start?
I can start. No, I totally agree with you. I believe that most of the biggest problem that we have is a cultural issue, but it's not new at all. We have an ecosystem that was built for the last 70 years, and mostly we feel that we are self-sufficient. And we introduce incremental changes and innovation within the way of the current business model. And the model of care didn't change too much for these 70 years. So the organization of hospitals, of primary care service, they continue to be mostly the same. So we didn't innovate on the organizational area. So most of this is due to this institutional forces and this institutional strength of the healthcare ecosystem. If you compare this with other industries like retail or banking, that they knew that they needed to evolve to some sort of thinking on the clients, on the consumers. In healthcare, we continue to be organized as we want to. So at some point, we resist to change. And most of the change that is coming now comes from the innovators, from the innovators that are there and hospitals continue to resist. I give you an example from my hospital. 6 years ago, when I started at Coimbra University Hospital, we had in our ecosystem some startups that were selling, for example, for the United States and for Canada and for across Europe. But actually, they never had a possibility to have a meeting with our hospital. You can imagine that we have startups that are engaging with, they are globalized, and actually they couldn't communicate because they didn't have anyone that would receive us. They couldn't book a meeting with the CEO. So what I believe is that this resistance, because we are mostly focused in day-to-day problems, and actually managing an hospital is quite demanding, we really need to create this space that allows to create this front office that will relate with the innovators and will foster innovation. So if we don't do it, it will be impossible for us. And I truly believe that it will be a problem for what I call the legacy providers, because we don't realize that actually we have new providers on the block, and actually most of the services that we provide currently can be provided in a more convenient way to our patients.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would like to ask the same question also to our the other guests from Galicia, because I think that maybe different kind of view can help us to really understand better which is the other, for example, ingredients for a successful ecosystem. So, thank
yes.
you.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned during my intervention, well, here in Galicia, we have the Health Innovation Platform and also the 7 innovation nodes, because we aim to listen hospitals and also primary care centers around all Galicia. Also, we have a big connection between the health clusters and also biomedical research clusters here in Galicia in order to know what the industry is doing. And one of the aspects that I think it was crucial, because it was a big need, it was to develop the first living lab. In this case, it's public, in a public hospital here in the region, in the hospital of Orense, because we also wants to know what are the new solutions, the new innovative solutions that are doing the companies, and to test them in the hospitals also gives us an opportunity to know what are the tendencies, what are the new solutions that could be interested to develop and to also to procure in the Galician health services. And the Living Lab model, I think, is a very useful tool and also a system also to try to involve more the ecosystem, thinking about the academia, the research institutes, and also the universities, thinking about the patient engagement and also the engagement of the health professionals, and of course the business sectors with the administration.
Very much. And I also would like to ask a question to our guest in presence, Dr. Battistelli, because you first mentioned the great value of the technology transfer office for your reality, but I know that in your pipeline there is something that is going on to create a network between other offices, because it is something very important also to make research more affordable from economic point of view, but also for social and sustainability and environment point of view. So I think that this is a great initiative. Can you tell something more about this?
Yes, I used. Okay. Yes, there is an initiative of the Ministry of Health to build a technology transfer office network around Italy. There was a call of interest before the summer, and the results of the call, the Ministry of Health decided 3 centers that coordinated this project. One in the north, one in the center, and the other one in the south. Of course, one in the center are east, and we built a project that involved 55 centers all over Italy to create this network. the project is composed by 7 work packages, from the build of a virtual platform, the business matching, the teaching, so all the activities that I list and that we daily perform inside our technology transfer office, but in national scale, not only for institute alone, but together to boost the technology transfer of life science in Italy. This is the project is under value of the Ministry of Health and external advisory board. Maybe at the end of this month we have the results, and then we start to work to create this network.
Okay. Are you planning to connect also with other nations?
Yes, one work package is for a dissemination exploitation of this experience. We want to connect with other reality in Italy, because there are other projects similar to us, and but also in Europe and of course in other regions or other countries around Europe.
Okay. Do you think that you will face some critical points in making all these realities from all over Italy together to work and to really boost the innovation?
Yes, we will face a lot of problems, I think, but the aim of the project is to solve the problem. Okay. Because now we have problems that are related to bureaucracy or differences between regions and law, and one of the problem is the involving of the private parties, that could be companies or ventures and so on, because if you have a public, you have to do a public call to involve also the private ones. We would like to, there is a work package to solve this type of problem related to legal and bureaucracy.
Oh, perfect. This is, I think that this will be a good experience also for us to learn something, maybe to take out of Italy and
yeah.
explain something to other places from over Europe. So, are there any questions for our guest speakers, for our local speakers, and the other from all over Europe? Don't be shy, so feel free to share also your experience, and not only questions, but also experiences and your daily work and your facilities. So if there is something that you can find similar to what our guests show to us, you can feel free to. Cecilia has the microphone.
Yes, I have the microphone. I have a question, but if someone from the audience wants to have raise the hand, please don't be shy, really. Yeah, my question is just to understand the main theme was people working on it. So in Galicia, you have an agency and an area specific dedicated to these activities. And Luca just said that they started in 2015. And so just I asked here, because he's here and it's easier, when you start, how many people were you, and how many people are working on technology transfer and innovation now after 7 years?
When we start, we were 2, me and Paola, that is seated.
Okay.
2, and of course a chief. Okay. Now we are 14 that works all over the operating.
In the 3 main pillars of the activities.
We are 14 now. So the institute invests a lot of forces, money, and time in innovation, because our mission is innovation. We are an IRCS, so innovation is our focus.
Main mission.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So how long did you did it take to see the return of the investment on these people
in terms
working?
of fundraising, 2-3 years.
Okay,
in
so
terms
not so
of
much.
fundraising, okay.
Yes.
But in terms of technology transfer, now we see something on return with the licensing agreement,
Okay.
for example, or with the other experience, on Health Accelerator. So the fundraising comes first, and then technology transfer, of course, requires more time, I think.
Okay. Okay, one hand. Sì, sì.
Okay, I am Paola and I work with Luca at EARS Cancer Center, Istituto dei Tumori della Romagna. One thing I just wanted to add it more is that the importance of the team is pivotal, and it's one of the things I need to underline, because right now we are 14 people with a lot of different skills, soft skills and multidisciplinarity, and this is, I think, fundamental. We had to fight a great resistance in our institute, even if Luca is quite enthusiastic and he always see the shine part of the sky. Me too as well, but we are really fighting a great resistance inside our institution, as Alexandre Lorenzo told us before, because our class of directors and managing directors is a little bit dinosauric. I say this.
It's a very good term.
Yes, because we have to fight inside our institution, even if we are an innovation center, even if we are an IR CCS. So we represent the most innovative part of our country. And the PNRR gave us the great opportunity of scalability and fasting processes, because now everyone is seeing our job, everyone is looking at us and say, oh, tech transfer, yeah. But then we are doing this since 2015. I think time has changed, and this is good for everybody and also for healthcare, but we have a long way to go. Even if now everybody can see our work and the opportunity to work together and to work between networks in Italy as well as international level one more time. So this is, I think, when team work, open-minded, open vision, and to be humble and to match with others is the real value of these actions we are doing.
Thank you, Paola. It was not a question, but she was just
a statement.
I'm the diplomatic part of the Paola.
Can I add something?
There is another question. There is another question.
Yes, good morning. My name is Donata Folesani. I work in ART-ER with Cecilia. I'm a colleague of Cecilia. And I would like something more about innovation procurement. We have heard the importance of innovation procurement in doing innovation in health ecosystems. So my question is, what would you suggest to set up a systematic way to introduce innovation procurement in ecosystem? Thank you.
Who wants to speak first? Maybe.
Yeah. May I?
Please.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for your question. Well, in Galicia, our experience started in 2012, as I mentioned during my speech. And it was an opportunity because it was a lack of funds. And thanks to ART-ER funds and also with a program led by the Spanish Ministry of Science, we had the opportunity to launch these two projects that they were with a total budget of 90 million euros. It was a first experience, and of course we learned a lot thanks to this experience in launching new health innovation plans related with PPI projects. the key aspect in this case, it was to try to involve all different type of stakeholders. So I mean, of course, you have to involve the companies because it's a new way of procurement. Companies are used to classical procurement and not this type of innovation projects, but also to try to involve all departments in your administration. So I'm thinking about your IT departments are crucial, especially if you are trying to launch some projects that are related with digital transformation. But of course, you have to involve the economic departments, also the legal services. They are crucial in order to write good tenders and also to check all the capabilities that all type of PPI procedures have. And of course, the clinicals in our case, because well, we work with health professionals and most of the ideas, they came from them, from the health professionals, because they are their daily needs that they would like to look for solutions in the framework of public procurement of innovation. So that's the most important thing, to try to involve a big team of people who provides ideas, who provide their expertise in different aspects. And of course, also you need to try to involve the management in order to look for funds to try to push this new way of procurement that is public procurement of innovation.
Can I add something to José Maria?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Mostly, well, José Maria has much more experience than us in innovation procurement. We have some PCPs and PPIs, but not as José Maria was presenting. In my opinion, we have two different issues regarding innovation procurement. One, of course, is bureaucratic, administrative. That is, our procurement services, for example, were not able to develop the project. They were not confident on doing it. And of course, there is some capacity building that needs to be done within our procurement services. And of course, it's legal, but also all the bureaucratic process is completely different and they need to be engaged on it. But I believe that the first one comes a little bit previously. That is the identification of needs. What we had in our hospital mostly was an opportunistic approach to problems, to needs. So what we are trying now is really to have a structured approach in open innovation, where we really actively search for ideas, but also for problems that will allow us to develop innovation procurement. Let me just go a little bit back with a question that was previously mentioned. That is, I believe that, of course, hospitals and the healthcare system, they need to have these innovation departments, professionalized innovation departments. From our experiences, we currently have 3 project managers, and we also have some administrative workers supporting us. But I must say that from the financial point of view, we are the innovation department is completely self-sufficient. So they raise the money and they raise the funds, mostly using competitive funding, that allow us to be completely autonomous within the hospital infrastructure. And I believe that this is a growing process. So most of the innovation departments, and I totally believe, according to also to the funding that is out there, they can be completely and financially sustainable without needing any extra funding besides the work that they are doing. So this team that we have here at Coimbra University Hospital is completely funded by competitive funding. So they don't represent any over expenditure to the hospital.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions?
Yes.
Thank you. Just a comment. I appreciated all the 3 presentations, and in particular the Alexandra one, as because I work in the regional government, and so at a different level from the local one where Alexandra works, and what I have appreciated and I take into account all his suggestions. And what I wanted to say was that I completely agree about his vision. The main problem is, one of the main problem we have to face is change resistance and a cultural problem. We are trying to innovate in the same way. I work as a health service researcher, and just an example, we are trying to innovate primary health care and putting practitioners inside community health centers, trying to interrupt the way of working alone, completely separate from the other healthcare workers. And what we found, we were not the only one, of course. The world is going towards this direction. It's trying to put them, practitioners, to work together with other healthcare operators. And it's very, very difficult. And I think it's a culture. You are right. We have to fight. One of the main fights is against this old culture. And I was not surprised to ask to hear from you that in the last 50 years that you work in your hospital, nothing changed. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Just a comment to add on this. It's the different languages from researchers, entrepreneurs, and clinicians is, I think, the most impressive obstacles, and to learn to talk each other. So the open innovation is probably one of the key. Just this comment for me.
I will make the last question if nobody else has one. And I will ask you to warn you about how much is important to involve citizens and patients into the process of innovation in the healthcare ecosystem. Because I think that this is one of the most important barriers that we have to face today. And we have to know that
ci sono domande online. Ok, giusto per sapere che possiamo chiudere. No. Can you hear from this microphone?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so sorry, we will repeat the question.
I believe that the question was related with
yes, about the involvement of citizens and patients in the process of innovation for the healthcare ecosystems.
I always remember, and I will be quite brief, I always remember a conference where I was with a patient representative. I was moderating a session, and we were talking about chronic disease, chronic disorder. And actually, we were talking about access to medicines, access to different technology. And actually, when she started to speak, she mentioned that the major concern that she had is related with clean toilets, okay, when she comes to the hospital. And actually, this is mostly also, I think it really shows us as hospital managers that we are not asking patients what they want. And what I believe is that, of course, we need to engage with patients. I believe that it's not only, and I think sometimes we have this kind of a tick box where we say that we have satisfaction surveys and all that. But actually, we don't use it to really redesign the services. So when we are redesigning a clinic or an outpatient clinic, of course, we need to ask the patients what they want. And there are strategies and tools to do it, like design thinking. I believe that even within IT Health, we have some projects that are starting to look at patient-reported outcomes measures. For example, we are engaged in a very interesting project that is a flagship from IT Health, that is Harmonix, that is related with stroke, and where we try, that is actually the leader is the Valdebron Hospital in Barcelona, And what we are trying to do mostly is within the care pathway of stroke to ask patients what are the outcomes that they are having. So I believe that this kind of strategy, and I believe within the current call that we have currently on IAT Health, and I will end my participation here, I believe the high value care call that is open can help providers like hospitals to really engage in high value care. And to achieve high value care, we need to ask the patients what they want, what we are achieving, and not only relying in this volume system that we currently have.
Perfect. Also because the topic of the language that Cecilia was saying before is another important problem that the patients are facing when they interact with the healthcare system at all. Romero, if you have something to say about this.
Yes, well, we have to think that we are working for the patients. It's like, of course, the ideas of the health professionals are very important and all different stakeholders, but at the end, we are a public health care provider, and on the center, on the top center of our work, of our daily work, are the center, the patients and the citizens. Citizens related more with public health, and of course, the patients in framework of the health assistance. So of course we have to listen them. Of course we have to try to look for some ways of how to interact with them and to know their needs. One example, thanks to these 7 notes that we have here in Galicia, is that we have the 3rd edition of the Innovation Awards here in Galicia, Health Innovation Awards, when there is a special category for ideas that they come from patients, from citizens, and also the other project that we have of the Living Lab, where all these solutions, they are also tested by patients in our hospitals. But at the end is to think for who we are working. We are working for the patients and for the citizens. So that's in all the projects and all the activities that we are doing, they must always be on the center. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Luca, do you want to add also something?
Yes, just 2 things. Also, as in all the in all the projects that we build, that we design, there are a patients association or citizen association, but also in the project that I mentioned before, the TT network in Italy, there are a dedicated task in the VP to create tools for patient and citizen engagement awareness. So we want to engage the population in the process of innovation till the beginning, not only in the research project, but also in the network and in the good practice for innovation. So
I think that this is one of the most important things today as a challenge to face for the healthcare ecosystem. So if anybody else has some examples or good practice about this topic, feel free to share them, because I think that this is one of the most important topics. Nobody. Everyone is shy today. Okay.
Nicole, thank you. Just take your seat here. I close from here. I don't want to have many people walking on this is not a stage. So I want really to thank everybody. It was really interesting. It was, I think, I hope, the first workshop, the first occasion to discuss these themes together. I really would like to start a discussion here in our region to improve our capacity and capacity building in technology transfer innovation process with the healthcare actors. And I really have to thank to José and Alexandre. It was a pity to not have you here, but I know that it's not easy to travel. Oh, yes, you lose some good things, some good foods here. And I have also to thank Luca. And just let me thank you also the hosting of these places, that is Fondazione Golinelli, that give us the opportunity to be here in a nice place. I want just to remind you that this is the first workshop of three, a cycle of three. I give you the data and the title of the next two that will be held in Naples. If you want to be in presence in Naples next week, there is one workshop entitled Data Value and Digital Skills for Healthcare Professionals, the 10th of November, and is organized by the IRCCS SDN Synlab. And the second one is entitled Biobanking for Patients Involvement. So really close to the topics just discussed. And it will be on the 11th of November and is organized by Check Up S.r.l. So I will give the link for the registration to these two workshops to all the people registered at this first workshop. Well, I have just to close and switch off also the screen, but really thank you, all of you, to be part of this nice and fruitful moment of discussion. Thank you.